Even if you have only 24 hours or less in Tokyo, there's almost no end to the list of amazing things that you can do in Japan's capital city. Despite the massive sprawl, this itinerary allows you to experience many of the things that make Japan so unique. But before you start your trip, I'd suggest grabbing the Tokyo Metro 24-hour ticket first. It allows you to have unlimited rides on the Tokyo Metro for 24 hours, which will be very helpful in your short trip. Trains run very efficiently and follow a strict schedule, so it's the best way to get around the city. Tickets cost 600 yen for adults and 300 yen for kids, plus they can be bought directly from ticket machines at all metro stations in Tokyo. The earliest thing you can experience in Tokyo is the world-famous Tuna auction, which happens daily from 5:30 to 6:30 in the morning. It used to take place at Tsukiji Market, but they've moved the auction to the newer Toyosu Market, which is about 30 minutes away by train from Tsukiji. The Toyosu Market is also twice the size of the old Tsukiji Market. Since public transport only starts at 5 AM, you might want to stay at a hotel that's nearby and then walk to the market in the morning. There is no admission fee and you can watch the auctions from dedicated viewing platforms. But it is conducted entirely in Japanese. There are no English signs or translations to tell you just what the heck's going on. You should plan on spending about 2 hours here, which includes the tuna auction, visiting the fish market, and also the fruit and veggies section. Make sure to wear comfortable shoes as you'll be walking a lot, and if you're getting breakfast, Toyosu's restaurants have some of the freshest seafood that you can have with rice, otherwise known as kaisendon, or in sushi. Definitely make it a point to check them out. Now it's time to put your 24-hour metro ticket to good use by taking the train to Asakusa. Where other Tokyo neighborhoods like Shibuya and Shinjuku conjure images of the ultra-modern, Asakusa gives us just the opposite, a glimpse of Tokyo at its most traditional. When you get to Asakusa Station, you'll spot the Kaminari Gate, which is the entrance to Asakusa's most popular attractions. This includes the famous Sensoji, an ancient Buddhist temple that has become a symbol of Tokyo's ancient past. You'll first have to walk along Nakamise Dori, which is the shopping street that leads you from the Kaminari Gate to Sensoji Temple. Take your time to shop around because you definitely don't want to miss out on some unique souvenirs, local street food, and other hidden treasures. You might also see other travelers sitting on rickshaws being pulled around by a single person. These rickshaw tours allow you to see more of Asakusa in less time, as they take you through shortcuts to see temples, parks, and local neighborhoods that tourists don't usually go and get to see. Absolutely nothing will give you a perspective of Tokyo's sheer size than viewing it from the Tokyo Skytree's observation deck on the 350th floor. Once you're done exploring Asakusa, you can cross the Sumida River to reach the Tokyo Skytree. Here, 4 blazingly fast elevators will only need 50 seconds to take you up 350 floors. Yup, less than a minute. The observation deck is called Tembo Deck because Tembo is the Japanese word for viewing or observation. Hence, Tembo Deck actually means observation deck. Many tourists are thrown off by this because they don't realize that Tembo Deck and observation deck are actually the same thing. The fee to get to the Tembo Deck is 2100 yen on weekdays and 2300 yen if you go on a public holiday. Once there, you can opt to pay a further 1000 yen and take the elevator up another 100 floors to the Skytree Tembo Galleria. Even if you only have 24 hours in Tokyo, the breathtaking panoramic views of the city will make it worth the effort. From Oshiage Station at the Tokyo Skytree, it is a short subway hop to Otemachi Station, where another influential piece of Japanese history beckons: the Tokyo Imperial Palace. While the palace itself isn't open to the public, the East Garden is a beautiful place which you can freely explore. Amid waterways, stone walls and bridges, cultivated bonsais, you get a pleasant escape from an otherwise chaotic day. If you need to take some time to relax, this is the best place to do so. With Shinjuku as the next stop, you'll be transported to an entirely different side of Tokyo. You've just explored Japan's past. Now it's time to see what's in store for the future. Upon leaving Shinjuku Station, you'll first notice the streets of Tokyo just flooding with a never-ending stream of pedestrians and cars. If you had more time, I would actually suggest that you just get yourself lost and go exploring. There's hidden gems to be found at every corner, but since we're on a tight schedule today, I'll give you a list of the best things to do in Shinjuku instead. First, consider heading to the red light district known as Kabukicho, just northeast of Shinjuku Station. In the morning, this place might not seem all that different. There's lots of bars and restaurants around, and then there's the head of Godzilla at the roof of a theater. The place, however, really changes when the sun sets and all the lights come on. Tourists have been scammed or robbed here, so while I wouldn't advise you to skip Kabukicho entirely, because it is a unique part of Tokyo, you should always mind your surroundings when you're here. Check out my video on the top 3 scams that happened here by clicking on the banner at the top right hand corner of your screen now. The link will also be in this video's description box. Next, head to Shin-Okubo, which is basically Koreatown, and it is one of the best places to get some Korean food and snacks. There's also lots of Korean-owned shops selling all things K-pop, so if you've been looking for specific merch from your favorite K-pop group and can't find it in Korea, who knows, you might find it here in Shinjuku instead. Harajuku is the epitome of youth culture in Japan, and it's where you'll see some of the newest, funniest, and downright weirdest fashion worn by all sorts of people. If you're looking for fun souvenirs or cutting-edge fashion, you can't beat Harajuku. You'll also see plenty of locals relaxing or doing performances in Yoyogi Park on Sundays, and the Meiji Shrine nearby is a must-see as well, not just because it's another famous temple, but because the entrance has some of the biggest torii gates in the country. Like Shinjuku, Shibuya is all about modern Japanese culture and everything you'd expect from a first world city like Tokyo. Whether or not the boutiques and shopping malls of Shibuya interest you, in wandering around you're bound to run into something that catches your eye, or your taste buds. Restaurants around Shibuya are plentiful, ranging from presidentially priced to budget backpacker cheap. If you're looking for a unique experience, go to the Shibuya crossing, which is the world's busiest crossing. You know the feeling of having to maneuver around or dodge people coming the other way at a crossing, but what about when there are a million people around you walking at the same time? You need to try this out for yourself. So the day is almost over and you need to start heading back to the airport to catch your flight. But you might still have some time for one last stop. Right before you arrive at Tokyo Station, you'll be in Yurakucho Station. And if you walk out and head below the train tracks, you'll get a chance to check out some of the most interesting traditional Japanese bars, or izakaya, in Tokyo. Yurakucho is popular among Japanese working adults who chuck beer and sake to unwind after a long stressful day of work. This is your last chance to mingle with the locals and to have some of the best food on skewers, or yakitori, in Tokyo. Let me know in the comments if you think this itinerary is doable or what would you change about it. In my next video, I share the best way to spend 24 hours in Kyoto, so if you don't want to miss out, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. And I'll see you in the next episode.